Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to Tenerife, where we've got Manchester United in the Champions League semi-final today. Both legs featured in this episode. I'll see you after the intro. By the way, you're not going crazy. The angle has changed. I'm quite literally taking a different angle in this video. Basically, the short story is I've got a new monitor. The new monitor is taller than the old monitor, and therefore the webcam doesn't quite work on it. So I have to have the webcam on this side. I'm sure we'll get used to it. That is until I get a better camera that I can maneuver better. But this is the situation. 2 games played since we last met against Real Madrid, the, Spanish Cup finalists, isn't here? Copa del Rey. We played 2 games. One against bottom of the table, one against the team that was in 4th. So naturally, we drew against bottom of the table Granada and beat 4th placed Real Betis 4-0. Football Manager, in case you didn't know how it works, that's how it works. Whilst I did write off the Granada match as being one I could rotate in somewhat, I did realise that was the match that would have confirmed their relegation if they lost it, or didn't win it. So by not winning it, they got relegated. That's why they cared. But anyway, Man United twice, Levante, we'll gloss over that. There is a mathematical chance we win the title in that Levante game, by the way. If we win and Barcelona lose in the same game week, then there's a mathematical chance we win the title in that one. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. We don't play the same time as Barcelona anyway, so it's not like it's going to be one of those ones where we win it on the day. It'll be anticlimactic whichever way it happens, just because they play the day later. We do our chances no harm by tightly marking Bruno Fernandes at all times, showing Frankie de Jong. Oh god, they got Frankie de Jong and Lautaro Martinez. The opposition instructions, nice little insight into their team. It's all over here, of course, on the left-hand side. Matvienko, don't know that one. Ah, yeah, Ahmed Hodzic, that's a name I recognise. I don't like the fact they've got players that are really good. Where's Pogba? Oh, he's injured, isn't he? He's injured. That came up in a previous episode. Oh, so Pogba's injured, but De Jong and Grealish step in. One of. I need to change my entire team from last game. Bear with me. Right, so the lineup will be Merritt in goal, Red and Lodi a left-back who's back for 45 minutes, but we'll play him for the full 90 because sod am I playing and also not fully fit Alberto Moreno left-back ahead of him. Umtiti, Quiros, Obregon, Ravella, Antov, Nico, Zukic, Gallardo, Eduard. A lot of lovely connections on this page. A lot of lovely working relationships going on. And then there's Eduard. Why these lovely working connections only work between certain positions? I do not know. It would be carnage if they could all connect to each other. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Yeah. Quiros is looking forward to his battle with Bruno Fernandes. That's a sentence that precedes unfortunate events, doesn't it? Oh god. Guess who's getting sent off in this match? Just dawned on me that Harry Maguire isn't starting. We are 4 years in the future, but that still doesn't make him that old. I suppose he'd be early 30, well, about 32, 33, I imagine. I mean, you look at the names on my side of things, obviously some of them are new gens, and then you look at the names on that side, and the fact they've won 5 in a row. Oh god, this is not going to go well, is it? I don't know what the Manchester United player was doing there. De Gea plays it short to Luis Felipe. It will never not annoy me that his in-game name on here is Ramos, because it's so confusing. I've had him before. I've signed him before. But as a centre-back, whose name appears in-game as Ramos, it's really annoying and confusing, because you just think it's that one. And I can't look at Maguire because he's not on the pitch yet, and I'm not faffing around. Lodi, Zukic, De Jong clears. Only as far as Umtiti. Of course, technically former Barcelona teammates, those two. That was a rubbish pass. And it's made its way to Lautaro Martinez, because of course it has. Here comes Martinez. There's Antov. Great, superb sliding tackle. It's not a penalty, as I feared in the moment. Antov pops that one forward. Again, intercepted by Gallardo. Eduard could have a good run here. He doesn't quite have it yet. There's the run. There's the run. Kyle's gone himself. What a fool. Eduard was in there. Eduard was in. Zukic coming forward. Eduard, first time, looks for the run. Shot. Strikes the bottom of the post. Zukic. Oh, wide. Not been a great amount of chances, but they have gone our way, the ones that have. No clear-cut ones, apparently, but one would work. 2 shots on target. Antov finds Obregon. Plenty of space for Obregon to do something. Back to Antov. Ravella in all of the space. It's hit De Gea. Someone's offside. Eduard. I don't know if Eduard was technically... Oh, is it? It's an interference offside, I think, is what that was. So one of those nonsense offsides, basically. Which I think is technically just robbed me of a goal. Depending if he was involved in Zukic getting that ball on the rebound or not, we may have just been robbed of a goal there. But having Antov in the middle of the pitch is really helping right now. 7.1, team leader, model citizen, the attributes to match. We're starting to pick up a couple of bookings now, though, in the second half. Eduard got booked, of all people. I don't think he was on a warning. Obregon at right back is probably the most replaceable player bench-wise, because we just have a straight swap for him, of course, in Nedalea. Nedalea continues to confuse me on what to do with him because, realistically, the majority of his attributes say he's a centre-back, and then he has 11 crossing. But on comes Nedalea at right back. Lodia might switch, and just because I don't have an attacking midfielder left on the bench, I could move Kayade over, of course, but I don't really have a right-sided one either at the moment. I'm quite thin on the attacking players for the Champions League because Shaqiri's broken as a human being and Gary's not registered. We'll pop in a late Encourage. Man United have got a chance. No, they haven't, apparently. The Encourage stopped that. And it ends up being a bit boring. I do apologise. Obviously, it's not the kind of excitement we're used to here in football world at the moment, with the Euros going absolutely ballistic. And I fully expect by the time majority of people watch this, England-Germany will have happened. It's not happened yet as of recording, but the madness that was France-Switzerland has, and the Spain-Croatia game, they've both happened. Good Lord. Yeah, so I have no idea if England have managed to do it against Germany, but if they do, it's looking a little bit nicer for England, isn't it? Or whoever wins that match. France out. Italy, Belgium play each other. Just signing promising youngsters, promising Spanish youngsters. Villarreal seem to be incapable of keeping hold of their youngsters. Yeah, he's got a bit of potential, even if he's only 3.5 star. If that potential is accurate, if he's only 3.5 star, then fine. If he can become a backup, a rotation player, then it's homegrown nation. It's fine. They've had two 18-year-olds just ready to leave at the end of the year. I've picked up another one. I've also offered new contracts to players whose release fees were insanely low for them. Bruno Alves' release fee was 9 million. It's now 85. Zukic was the other one. His release fee was about 18 million. He's now worth about 30 something. So moved on that one quickly. He was going to get a new one at the end of the year anyway, but didn't want to tempt fate. Speaking of worth, I've now included minimum release fees on this one just because it makes it easy to look through all the... I might have to look at Obregon at some point. He's only worth 4 million, but his release fee is 30, and I suspect he will reach that eventually. But Faisal's another one, by the way. Faisal's another one I've offered a new contract to. Didn't realise I only had it 9 million when I signed him. That's the only one I'm annoyed by because his contract was 2 years away anyway. But Zukic is the big one. You can see there, 20 million release fee, 40 million he's worth now, actually. He's only on 7 grand, 8 grand, basically. But yeah, the contract was up for him at the end of next year, regardless, so he would have been offered a new one. Well, it doesn't really underline... Okay, this guy's just arrived. He's just turned 18, so he's arrived. But whilst he's no good for me now, maybe 3-star player, I'll never know. But he has 4 finishing, by the way. I signed him more as an educational thing than an actual deliberate thing. He may give me a couple of £100 at some point if he develops. But international new gens. If you follow me from way back when on the York save, Shao Nan was a Chinese international new gen. He genned into the game without a club. Didn't have a club, but was in the international team. You can see Greety has 1 under-21 cap, and that's how I found him. He was in the under-21s for Honduras and didn't have a club and had a tiny bit of potential. He had more potential when I signed him because my players were worse. But now my players are better, and he's been on trial here the entire time, so his class has been here for 3 years. Actually, does that mean he technically becomes homegrown club at the end of this year? Tell you what, though, despite 4 finishing, he has 15 goals in 13 starts last year, or this year. Average ratings are quite good for the under-19s. Now, there's Faisal's through. His release fee is now 84 million. Should I say, because we've guaranteed Champions League football, the new budgets are in, so we've got a little bit more wages, which is why I was happy to do those new contracts. The transfer budget, though, 14 million. It's going up, but I'm now really torn on how to do this. I'm just going to check our head-to-head with Barcelona. In the league, we lost 2-0 at home. I genuinely can't see the away match. Oh, we won 3-2 away. So they have the head-to-head because they've got an extra goal. And that matters in the Liga, so we would have to win and Barcelona would have to lose. So because we're 7 points clear, if we win and they draw, that becomes 9 points. But because they got the head-to-head, technically they can still catch us with 3 games remaining, technically. We would just need a point in the remaining 3 to secure the title in that case. But Barcelona have been faltering a little bit. Do I have to do this press conference? I mean, I don't have to. I don't know why I did it, but you say that's Barcelona's recent form, so it's patchy at best, although Atletico Madrid was the loss. Well, they have drawn with Espanyol recently, who aren't exactly doing well. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play this match in full, because it's either going to be this match or the Atletico match. Realistically, we're probably going to win the title, and then we'll resolve the Man United semi-final in the second part of this with that Atletico match. That's probably the best thing to do, because knowing my luck in these things when I organise what I'm doing in these episodes, I'll end up winning the title off screen, basically. It's kind of one of the weirdest title winning seasons I've seen in Football Manager, this one, because And imagine you feel the same way in this one, because I've not really mentioned or shown the league much this year, and we're winning it for the first time. So that's kind of my bad on my end there. But if we win the title now, then I suppose I've made up for it, haven't I? But yeah, Granada have 15 points, and one of them was against me recently. Worth noting, if I'd beaten Granada, we'd have won the title already, I've now realised. And that would have happened off camera, because Barcelona drew against Espanyol. That would have done it. That draw for them. Then Ravella, edge of the box. I didn't show you. I didn't go through the team, but Nedler's in, Harwood's in, Herrera, Faisal, Garay, Koita all start. Eduard wasn't actually at full fitness for some reason. He was fine for the Champions League match, but he's not at full fitness for this one. Ravella in a bit of space. Koita's there. Koita scored in one of the more recent games. Considering he had 1 goal up until about 2 weeks ago, the fact he's now on 5 is quite impressive. Hasn't really played a great deal, in fairness, but he's got his shooting boots on, that's for certain now. And it's a little bit of a chance for you to see the players that don't really start the Champions League, considering that's all been featured. The players like Harwood, Herrera, Garay. Zukic still has to play because I think Core's still broken. I had a promise reminder recently that I need to play him on the right wing when he's broken. Ah, good, we're losing anyway. Drawing, sorry. Merritt never saw it, says the text. I think he did, to be fair, because the strike did happen from in front of him, so I'm pretty certain he did see it with his eyes. Yep, there he is, in front of the ball. There's Bardi with the assist, the North Macedonian. What a fun time they've had of late. Was that their first? Pandev scored their first Euros goal, didn't he? I mean, it had to be him, didn't it? But Bardi, one of the more recognisable North Macedonians, him and Alioski are basically the only ones in the majority of people's memories aside from Pandev. Before the Euros, at least, I genuinely don't think I could have named a North Macedonian that wasn't Pandev, Alioski, or Bardi. I now know a few more because of the stickers thing, more than anything. I mean, someone tackle him, please. Radoja, Exposito. What was the highlight there? I mean, that was a very late encouraging that half. So whilst this second half goes on, we're just going to talk about the team a little bit in general, just having a bit more of a chatty episode. As things stand, as nothing's really happening. In terms of the team, I've now got definitely too many foreign players, so it's very likely I'm going to be loaning 1 or 2 of them out. Non-EU players, I should say. Because I'm only allowed 3, I'm very likely to loan at least 1 of them out next year. Whether it's Molina or McDonald, I'm not fully certain. Because McDonald's in the under-23s, but he's not playing for some bizarre reason. Which means I've signed him in January, and then he's not played football. Howard moves into the box, he's tackled, Zukic is there. Gary at the back post. Sorry, just to pause it because there's something weird going on right now. I don't know what's going on with the graphics at this stage in time, but there's sort of like this weird lag catch-up going on. We've scored a goal. Benjamin Gary, I do apologise for this. I don't know why it's happening now. It's not happened in any match so far on this entire year's game, so I can only assume there's something going on. But Levante come forward again. They're not done just yet. I thought Herrera was on a 6.0 there for a second. It's 6.6. I can read. Quiros, great tackle. He's been really good the past couple of episodes. Zukic is knackered. Is Kaido on the bench? He is. Now, interestingly, when I went onto the substitutions there, a lot of the players didn't have positions. They do now. So there's definitely something a little bit up there. I don't know what it was, but we'll get Ravella off. In fact, we'll get both of them off. Because Herrera's booked and Ravella's knackered, and I need Ravella for the next match. Faisal comes forward. There's space on this left-hand side. Ravella's on the edge of the box. He's found Kayada. Great move there. Oh, what a beautiful move that was. Harwood is a bit of a dummy, but Harwood's one was a bit of a fake-out for their defence. But other than that, that was a beautiful, beautiful move. Faisal to Ravella. Ravella fine. You see Harwood running on the left-hand side. It looks like he's actually trying to pass to Harwood. And Koita gets on the end of it instead. I dare say either of them would have scored there, but I'm trying to see who's going to flag for the offside. Neither. Both of them would have been onside. Faisal's on a 6.4. I just realised he wasn't playing particularly well. Probably should have taken him off. But never mind. Bakayoko. Nico. I love the fact I signed Bakayoko, saying that I felt sorry for him because he doesn't really ever play for Chelsea. And then I've signed him on loan and barely played him. Nedelaire. Garay's there. Aitor saves. Okay, so as things stand, we've done our bit. We've got our 3 points. If Barcelona lose, and Barcelona do need to lose, then we win the title. Is there a penalty happening? I mean, it looked like there was about to be a penalty there, but Faisal's header goes over the bar. Can't do anything shout-wise, nor do I have the time to do it anyway. Gomez back to Lambrich. Vezo. 30 seconds to go in the game. It's not exactly going to be anything. I mean, that was a speculative. That's not a word. Speculative. As the ball down to Faisal, maybe a late chance for us after all, but Nedelair, we're all charging forward. It's 3-1. It's 30 seconds to go, and we're still attacking. Good news. Cleared. I don't think this is anything. The team's in a fairly good spot. I mean, the extra wages we've got from the budget isn't exactly massive. We can't really bring anyone in. There's no one, as far as I can tell, there's no one on the end of contracts that are happy. There's one person I want to bring in on the end of contract, whose wages will be a little insane, probably. But other than that, and he's not ready to make a decision either, so just waiting on that one. But he's homegrown nation, which is going to be huge if we do get him, because it's a striker as well, which means we wouldn't need to replace, which means we wouldn't have to try and get Eduard, probably. Right, so we just need to see how this, I mean, I probably should have rested some of those lads there. Just rest the 4 guys that are going to play against Manchester United and see if Barcelona do indeed completely mess up. And there's Zukic through. His minimum release fee now 103 million. Yeah, I had to pay him a lot of money. But for a player that I was infuriated with about 18 months ago, his turnaround has been nothing short of remarkable. 15 goals in all competitions, 13 assists in 36 starts. 7.12 average rating in total, 7.12 average rating in the league. Internationally, he's been really good as well. Two appearances internationally, 2 goals, 1 player of the match, 7.75 average for Serbia. The player bought for 2.2 million from Vojvodina, now worth 42.5 million pounds. Loves a big game, consistent, and I don't want to jinx things, but for an injury-prone player, been all right, really. Apparently I should be improving his corners, which are 13 anyway, so just very well-rounded. No sort of sensational things. He looks a lot worse now the yellows are 16, but there's a few 15s in there, and quite a lot of 14. Very, very well-rounded is Zukic. But now we wait to see if Barcelona win or lose, or draw. That's an option, of course. I know how football works. I think it's weirdly tense for a person who's not really cared about the league for some reason, despite the fact they're winning it all year. The Man United report came back in that says this isn't the best group of goalkeepers for command of area. I mean, they've still got De Gea and Henderson. So close. So close. See, that's why I included the Levante match, because it wasn't out of the realms of possibility that Barcelona would lose at the moment. Just the way they're playing, for whatever reason. It wasn't outside the realms of possibility. Veretout, with a penalty, has salvaged a draw, which means they're 9 points behind. They do have the head-to-head, which is why it's not gone yet, despite it being 9 points to 3 games to go. So, obviously in most leagues, goal difference would be the factor then, but we are 10 goals ahead in that respect either way. But head-to-head matters. Oh, I just realised Getafe have slipped a 5th. Oh, they got a game in hand. Okay, cool. Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid still not in the top 4, although Atletico are fighting for it. But we could genuinely be in a situation where only Barcelona, of the traditional big 3 in Spain, are in the Champions League next year. Genuine possibility. It's a little bananas. Also, just a quick note on Tenerife B, who have just lost this weekend as well, but they're all right. 9 points clear, 37 games played. Las Palmas still in second, so we could have the Canary Island derby back again next year. It's a very real possibility. But I'll see you for Man United and Atletico, which might actually end up being the last episode of this particular season, depending on how it pans out. If we lose to Man United, it's 0-0 at home, so I'm not expecting to win I'm not expecting to win this away leg, I'll be honest. So if we lose to Man United and we win the title against Atletico Madrid, then that'll be the last episode of this particular season. I will play through the remaining games and do all the wrap-up stuff at the end if that's what happens. Of course, if we somehow progress against Man United, then we've got a Champions League final to enjoy after all this. So 1, maybe 2 episodes remaining of this season, and then we move on to the next one. Until next time, ta-ra.